Tony and welcome to Action for Aging, where we're tackling life's most underestimated season with intentional action and a big dose of self-love. If it's your first time here and you're searching for a channel dedicated to the mature season of life, then welcome. This is your community. The culture is bombarding us with a prevailing message, and it is a message that needs to change. I feel like in the past, the mature community has not felt a liberty and a freedom to test boundaries, to push boundaries, to challenge ways of thinking like we can do today. And so I feel like the time has come for this particular message to be changed. It's presented to us like an equation, and it goes like this: youth equals beauty. Now there is a new voice that needs to rise, and I think it needs to come from the baby boomers, the Gen Xers, and it's a voice that says this: I refuse to accept that only youth equals beauty. Now there are some actions that we're going to have to take if we're going to change the narrative for the mature community and this season of life. I want to give you somewhat of an analogy here. If this necklace and this pendant right here were actually crystal, can you imagine the shine that would pass through this prism or this crystal? Have you ever been at a stoplight and somebody pulls up alongside you, and hanging from their rearview mirror, they have one of those crystal pendants, right? And the light is dancing off of it, and it's passing through it as a prism, and it's just casting little beads of light off of it. It's so beautiful and so enchanting. I personally believe that we were designed that way by our Creator. Beautiful if you're a woman, right? If you're a man, your physique, your physical attractiveness. And when we get to this season of life, suddenly it's like the message shifts, as if there could not be beauty or attractiveness somehow corralled within this season. And it's not true. And it's about time that we accept that beauty, though it may look different at every season, is still present. And so I want to suggest that we get away from that message of beautiful and focus more on being beauty filled, okay? Filled up with the things that are beautiful. Now that's going to take you going and tapping into your sense of self, searching your heart and deciding what it is that fills you. Do you have a love of animals? Do you have a heart for those in poverty? Are you an avid reader and you can see that there is need for volunteer reading programs to assist teachers in the school system? Is it your love of family? Do you have a heart for acts of service or ministry or volunteering? Once you can figure out what it is that fills your heart, you can become that prism. You can decide where and on whom to pour that out. Guys, we are prisms of light in this season that we're in right now. If we tap into that, I believe that we can position ourselves as examples, much needed examples of grace and of dignity, of passion and purpose, of grounding to the younger generation. Ladies, you in particular have the power and the potential to serve as prisms of light, of examples to younger women who I really believe are in desperate need of such examples. Wow, the power in that, guys, the purpose in that. Every season clearly has its own purpose, and this season right now, the mature season, is one where we can be an example and a light because there's need for it. That's huge. So I made the point that the mature season is maybe a shift from what we traditionally think of as beautiful, and so much more maybe about being beauty filled. I want to read a little excerpt to you. It's a passage from Irene Claremont de Castillo. And it says, now I'm going to broaden this because she's speaking in terms of women, but I want to speak in terms of all who are part of the mature community. So I want to generalize so that we can include men. So I'm going to do a bit of paraphrasing here. But Irene says that the curve of a person's lifespan follows the pattern of the seasons. We blossom in the spring, and there is a long summer of very slow ripening. But the autumn of a person's life is far richer than the spring if only we become aware in time and harvest the ripening fruit before it falls and rots and is trampled underfoot. The winter which follows is not barren if the harvest has been stored, and the withdrawal of sap is only a prelude to a new spring elsewhere. Isn't that a beautiful quote? Now, as I pondered that, I was thinking, what is she talking about when she says the harvest? That when we were in earlier seasons of life, that we should have been gathering and storing a harvest. Guys, that's that filling up. That's where we are. And so what would that look like? I gave it some thought and I came up with the following things. At this season of life, we've been storing up wisdom. We've been storing up so many different experiences. We have greater compassion. We have greater generosity. And hopefully, if we haven't already, we're working very hard on self-love, right? All of these things that we've been storing up along the way, guys, they've prepared us for this mature season of life. And as Irene said, we don't want to now let those things rot or go to waste. We are prisms that can allow these things to pass through us and be poured out as a blessing into the lives of other people, right? And we have been filled and equipped to go out and make that difference. And it gives so much purpose to us too. We are beauty-filled and we can pour out, but it's going to require action, guys. So I'm going to challenge you. How are you going to search your heart? Will you search your heart, and what will you discover there? And when you do discover it, what will you do with that? Who will you pour that out on? Prisms of light, guys, I want you to think about that. If it's your first time here, I again would like to welcome you to my community, and I would love for you to be a part of it. If you'd go ahead and just hit that red subscribe button below. Also, there is a little bell icon right next to that. If you were to go ahead and ring that bell, it'll just ensure that you don't miss any of my future content as it's being released. I release my new content on Sunday nights, sometime after 8 p.m., usually very late at night. So you may want to go ahead and check on Monday mornings. And I'm doing my best to bring bonus videos to you as well throughout the week. So be on the lookout for those. I welcome all of my new subscribers, especially if you don't have a channel of your own where I can follow you back. If that's the case, be sure to leave that comment because it's the best way for me to find you. And as always, guys, please remember that you are special and you are so very valuable in this season of life right now. So act on it. Goodbye, friends.